So, you know those moments where you just take a look around your house and you see the laundry piles, the dishes in the sink, the kids yelling in the background and think, this is not what I signed up for? Yeah, me too. Motherhood comes with a million little surprises, some magical, some messy, and many that leave us questioning how in the world did we get here? So, in today's episode, we're unpacking the space between expectation and reality, not of our kids, but of ourselves as moms. Let's talk about it. You're listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which invites you along on a journey to learn of mindful living, grow in mental health, and inspire through personal growth. In a world where we can often feel much stress and overwhelm, this podcast provides bite sized tips and real talk conversations, empowering you to embrace mindfulness and nurture your full potential. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, licensed therapist, retired educator, entrepreneur, and mom of two. I'm passionate about helping busy moms reduce the overwhelm and to live life intentionally without losing their, well, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 268 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than we were yesterday. So, if you're listening to this in real time, Mother's Day is just around the corner, which can elicit different types of feelings for everyone. And when taking a scroll through social media on Mother's Day weekend, you know that you always see the flowers, the smiles, the breakfasts, and pictures made at school of painted hands turned into flowers. All beautiful stuff, right? And I'll preface this with saying that it is beautiful and I wouldn't change it for the world. But let me tell you, if we're keeping it real, just the other day, as the weather here in the Northeast is starting to get nicer and nicer, and spring is finally beginning to settle in, I really wanted to go for a walk. And it sounds so basic, I know, but it was just something that I needed to move my body. I needed to do this for my mental health. And being cooped up in the house all the time, I was just really eager to go for a walk. I wanted to go midday, but then an unexpected Zoom meeting came up. And then I wanted to go after school, but I had clients. And then after I left my office, I picked my son up and I wanted to go with him. But he was adamant that he did not want to go for the walk because I'm sure the switch was calling his name at home. So then I dropped him off at home, told him to throw me one of the baby sweaters and the baby blankets because it was getting just a little bit breezy. And then I went off to the park. And only 5 minutes later, I got there, I parked, I got out of the car, I saw the leaves swishing around, and I felt a little bit of a chill, and then came to the realization that it would be entirely too cold to go for a walk with the baby. So I got back in my car, and the tears just started falling as I drove back home. And my husband noticed that I was in a bad mood as soon as I got into the house. And as I was telling him, I know that it sounded ridiculous as I started crying and really taking deep breaths as I was talking. But really, I just really wanted to go for a walk, again, for not just for my physical health, but for my mental health and just for me. And I'm really keeping it real and being completely transparent with you today because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, this gap between what we thought motherhood would be like and what it actually is. Before we become moms, we carry these images, right? Images of a glowing pregnancy with absolutely no types of issues, of an easy and quick delivery, of cute onesies, and being able to do it all while still having energy somehow for our hobbies and date nights and doing our own thing. We imagine waking up early, sipping coffee before the house wakes up, journaling, working out, packing Pinterest worthy lunches, all the things. But in reality, it might be more like snoozing the alarm because you were up all night, eating cold leftovers while standing over the sink, wondering when was the last real conversation that you had with your partner, and feeling out of touch, worn out, and maybe even a little lost. And here's the thing, amiga moms, I'm going to call you all my mom friends who are listening along to this podcast. We're not wrong for having those expectations, for wanting things to be Pinterest perfect. We just didn't know how much of ourselves motherhood would ask us to reimagine. I remember thinking that I would be the mom who had it all together, the organized mom, the calm mom, of course, being a therapist and all. The mom who would never yell, who'd always say yes to playtime, and who'd maintain all of her friendships and still carve out me time. This is who I thought I was going to be. Well, yes, some days, and I emphasize on some, maybe more emphasis on a few, do look something like that. However, being completely honest, many more look like rescheduled plans, drive through dinners, and conversations with friends that begin with, sorry, I haven't texted you back in 2 weeks, or more, if I'm being honest. I've learned that the reality of motherhood isn't about perfection, but it is about presence. And I will always be the loudest voice in the room saying that I am filled with gratitude that I have my two kids, despite my daughter coming 8 years after we prayed for her, and despite being in my 40s with an infant, which is a totally different ballgame. But I also like to keep it real and I make space for my real emotions, even if it means that I am crying as I drive away from the park. And keeping it real, this reality has taught me that it's okay if we don't love every stage of motherhood. It's okay if we miss parts of who we used to be. And it's okay to want a break, not because we don't love our families, but because we need to love ourselves too. So we know, let's be real, motherhood is a lot. It's beautiful, it's messy, it's hilarious, and sometimes it is just plain hard. And in the middle of doing all these things, it's so easy to forget you in the process. And that's why I created something for us, for my Amiga moms, called Real Talk for Real Moms. This is happening on Saturday, May 31st from 9 to 10:30 at Free to Be Mindful in Richfield, New Jersey. It's a cozy in-person gathering with light refreshments, honest conversations, and a chance to just be. We'll connect with other moms who get it and share what's really going on with no guilt, no judgment, and no pressure to show up as anything other than yourself. This isn't therapy, it's not a lecture, and it's definitely not another thing on your to-do list. It's just a moment to breathe, to feel seen, to connect with other people, and hopefully leave you feeling a little bit more like you. Spots are super limited to keep it intimate with a lot of intention. So go ahead, go to the link in the show notes and grab your ticket before they're gone. So, motherhood isn't just about nurturing others. It's about learning how to nurture yourself in the process, even when no one claps for it and even when no one sees it. If you've been a long-time listener, you've heard me talk about my mindful living framework in the past. And it's through this framework that we can bridge the gap between expectation and reality. So, first, noticing your mindset when your inner critic shows up, gently remind yourself that you are doing your best. Instead of striving for the ideal or Pinterest perfect day, focus on your intentions and how you want to feel during your day. Let go of the pressure to be everything to everyone and allow yourself to set up boundaries to show up how you want to show up. Offer yourself the same kindness that you give to your kids when they fall short. Give permission to pivot when you need to rest when you must, and to not have it all figured out. And find joy in the now, even when it's loud, even when it's messy, and even when it's imperfect. So, yeah, maybe motherhood isn't the life that you pictured. Maybe motherhood feels heavier, or maybe lonelier, or maybe more chaotic than what you thought it would ever be. But maybe, just maybe, it's also where you're finding strength that you didn't know you had. Maybe it's where you're learning that being enough doesn't mean being everything. It just means showing up as you are again and again. And that, my amiga moms, is something worth celebrating. So take a moment to breathe in as you reminisce now on the message that you just heard, and slowly exhale. And with that exhale, also let go of this picture perfect version of motherhood and open your heart to the one that you're living in today. Take a moment to look around in the space you're in. Yes, even if the toys are on the floor, even if there's laundry waited to be folded because one isn't there, and even if there's dishes in the sink, and know that this is real life. This is not curated, this is not filtered, and it doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. Breathe in and let the chaos remind you that life is being lived in the space you're in. And know that you are doing a beautiful job, even in the messy moments. And my friends, if this episode spoke to you today, I'd really love it if you can share it with a fellow mom friend or amiga mom who might need the reminder. Also, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes, many of which speak specifically to mothers. And if you haven't already, leave a quick review. It helps more moms find the support that they deserve. And remember that you are not alone, that you are not behind, you are doing the work, and that you're always, always free to be mindful. Catch you next time. Free to Be Mindful exists because of viewers and listeners like you. If you're enjoying the podcast or felt this week's show resonated with you, please take a moment to leave a rate and review on the platform where you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act allows me to see what you're enjoying so I can deliver more personalized content that focuses on learning, growing, and inspiring. It also helps others find the podcast too. Don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. And if you can do me the favor and share this podcast on social or with a friend who may benefit from the message shared today, that would be truly appreciated. In the meantime, I welcome you to follow me on social media across all platforms at Counselor V. De Jesus for more fun content. And remember, my friends, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.